you don't get all the details, and people, especially on social media, will say, well, where is it? What's the roster? How much is it paying?
You save the time and hassle of finding someone else. It's exponential how much benefit you get on the cost and time front. If we can cut that shit out, because even for the workers, if they don't like the joint, isn't it better they know straight away before even going there, rather than going to the effort going there, then they have to find another job? I'd never worked in finance and shit, but then I'm like, if I'm on a friggin' podcast talking about it, if I say one wrong thing, which I do regularly, get friggin' dragged over the coals for it. So it's like I've got to say things correct, because if I don't, I sound like a dickhead. And bloody everyone's like, who's this bogan on the podcast? Indonesia at the moment, even though it's like environmentally horrible what they do over there, like you'd never get away with what they do in Australia, just dumping tailings in the ocean and bloody just clearing forests to mine these laterite deposits, but they operate under such a different set of standards than we do in the West.
Welcome to the Beers with a Miner podcast. My name is Mad Mumsy, and I've been driving the huge dump trucks in Australian open cut mines for over 10 years now. I wish I had $1 for everyone who said to me, how does a little thing like you drive those big trucks? You must be rich. How do I get a job doing that? My mining friends are asked these questions all the time too. This is what started the Mad Mumsy journey to share stories and tips from living a mining lifestyle and to let others know what it's really like. Tune in each episode as I sit down for a relaxed chat, usually over a few beers, with a fellow miner. Women and blokes with various experience, roles and opinions share their lessons and stories with you. Not everyone is cut out to be a miner, but why not? What does it take to thrive and survive in this industry? Now, let's dig in. Get it? Dig? Mining? Crack me up. Hello and welcome to the Beers with a Miner podcast. My name is Mad Mumsy and this is another happy hour episode. In this one, we are chatting to Matt Michael, who is back. He was here in another episode, which the link will be in the show notes, madmumsy.com/beers94. Back then, he was the host of Life of Mine podcast. I went on his podcast. He came on mine. His underground was an underground jumbo operator. And we heard all about his story then. But a lot has changed in Matt's life. And this epic conversation goes long. I'm warning you, so I will keep this intro short. But FYI, he has a new podcast, and we also dug into a bit about investing and, you know, all of that clever stuff, money stuff that isn't in Mad Mumsy's world. So it was great to listen to him, a self-confessed bogan who's trying to make a go out of not going down in the hole anymore, and he is rocking it. Be sure to listen as he shares about his latest venture as well, which is fantastic if you are looking for work in the mines or maybe changing roles, and also if you are listening and you are one of the people who have to hire someone to come work for you. He's set up a new platform and an app, and it's amazing. So, like I said, this is going long, so shut up, Mad Mumsy, let us listen. And I'll see you at the end. It's really good, and I'll let you know that the next episode is going to be long as well. So I've got two-hour nearly podcasts that I'm editing as we speak. Oh, who needs a life, right, when you're a podcaster? Thank you for listening to Australia's first mining podcast since 2016. I'm happy to have you still here with me, and only another couple of years, and that'll be 10, right? Oh, my God, I can't believe it. Okay, now let's dig in. Get it? Dig? Mining? Ha, ha, ha. I crack me up still after 94 episodes. You clown. I am so. I resemble that remark, as Mad Baz would say. So I've been playing around with AI, and this is a version of the show notes after AI has been listening to this podcast. So you chuck it in, that spits out what they reckon. It's quite funny. So you ready? I've got to see if I can say it without laughing. And I'll add a bit of attitude in there. Right, ready? Here we go. Grab a cold one and settle in for a raw and rollicking conversation with Mad Mumsy as she catches up with Matt Michael, the host of Life of Mine podcast and co-founder of Mining Select. In this episode of Biz with a Miner, we dive deep into Matt's latest venture, Mining Select, a revolutionary platform aiming to transform the mining recruitment landscape. Matt shares his highs, lows, and hilarious anecdotes of creating a Tinder for mining jobs, where quality trumps quantity and Australian workers connect directly with mining companies. From the inception of Mining Select to its challenges and aspirations, Matt's passion and determination shine through. He also reflects on his journey from jumbo operator to podcast host and entrepreneur, discussing the cultural shifts within the mining industry and advocating for a future where miners are recognised for their skills, not their gender or background. This episode is a must-listen for anyone interested in the future of mining recruitment, the power of persistence, and the importance of a good laugh along the way. Don't miss out on the insights and entertainment that only Mad Mumsy and Matt can deliver. Well, that's pretty good compared to what I just mumbled around and shared with you first. However, it didn't mention anything about the investment chat that we had. And, you know, stocks and all of that and the share market. And Life of Mine is his old podcast, and now his has a new podcast. So anyway, make sure you have a listen and see if it's a rollicking conversation about Tinder for mining jobs. But it is definitely a revolutionary platform aiming to transform the mining recruitment landscape, right? So hook in, have a listen, and have a laugh, grab a cold one and settle in for a raw and rollicking conversation. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Okay, love you, see you, bye. Oh, and remember, yes, it's long, but that's the beauty of podcasting. You can listen while you're doing other stuff, and you can come back to it and pick up wherever you left off. So you don't have to sit down and do nothing for the next couple of hours. You know, just listen when you can. Okay, love you, see you, bye. I'm really going now. Enjoy the chat.
Hello and welcome to episode 94 of Biz with the Miner podcast. Tonight I am speaking with Matt Michael from Life of Mine podcast. He's the host, and I've been on his podcast. He has been on mine back in episode 77. And make sure you go back and listen to that. Links will be in the show notes, madmumsy.com/biz94. And back then you were underground jumbo operator, came from engineer. But if you go back and listen to that, you can hear the whole story. Either way, he's a bloody legend, and we had an awesome chat. From engineer to jumbo operator, so, you know, a real miner underground. WA based, and host of Life of Mine podcast.
Life of Mine's dead now, Mumsy.
No, is it?
It had to take a back seat, and for the new venture that I'll bloody give it up for. So, but it's still there in the archives.
It's still we're still alive. Our chat, we're not dead and buried.
Your episode is still there, as legendary as always. So I couldn't bloody put it in the bloody coffin. So it's there. It's like bloody, what are they? The old party boots. They're still in the closet. I can get them out later if I need to. You know.
Yeah, that's it. So what do you put? You could have put it in the void.
In the void.
Is that the underground where you put it in the void and nothing, you're not allowed to go in there?
What would you say? It's just like it's in the store. It's at the back of the store. If you need to go to the storeman and get it out one day, we can.
I love it. I love it. Well, I didn't know. Oh, no, I didn't know that. Oh, it's a bit sad. But it was a choice, obviously.
Yeah, well, the new one, Money of Mine, that's the
Yes.
venture now. But it wouldn't have been able to do this if it never did Life of Mine from the start. I'd still be bloody bending bolts underground and spewing my guts up in the heat down there.
So you've certainly evolved and changed into like a different human since you were last on. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. And what's your drink? What are you drinking before we go into the whole spiel?
Got the old Dingo Lager. That's the new WA bloody big. So, and I wasn't drinking because the city life has not been kind to the waistline since I give away mine. I've only been not drinking for one day, but you've broken the hot streak. But anyway, cheers, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers.
Bloody great to see you. What are you scoffing there? What's that, a bloody rosé?
No, I'm a bit posh. It's a Carlton mid-strength beer in a wine glass.
Oh, mate,
because I gave up drinking too. I gave up drinking red wine, and now I drink a beer at night in a wine glass because I missed the act of having a wine, it's nice. And I've lost 10 kilos since I did that.
Oh, good on you, mate. That's what I've got the vape for now, so it's like smoking a cigarette.
Sorry, end of podcast. No vapors allowed. I'm only taking the piss.
You wouldn't get anyone on the podcast. Everyone's sucking on them these days.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, they were sold as better than smoking, and now they're saying, no, you're not allowed to do that either. So it's a bit harsh.
Yeah,
but, so let's go back to what made you decide to stop going in the hole and take the leap into podcasting. And you were doing your merch then as well, I think, around that time.
Bloody merch is a pain in the arse. I'll never do that again. Far out. I'll leave that to Posy and Dirty Hole. The kid. Once I had kids, and the girls are at the young age and like they're at that fun age, I'm like, I'll never bloody get this time back. And I had a potential out, whereas I guess most other people in the mining industry, they get a bit hamstrung to the dollars and everything, and they don't really want to make the sacrifice to go back working in the city, which is perfectly understandable. Got to pay for the Land Cruisers and the jet skis somehow.
Yeah, all the toys.
Yeah, whereas I thought, fuck, if I'm going to keep piss farting around with this podcast idea, rather than doing it with FIFO, I've either got to just go all in and try and make a thing out of it, and then if I don't, just cancel it forever. So I think it's November 22, a year and a half ago, I said, nah, bugger it, I'm going all in. And I didn't really even have a frigging plan, you'd say. And I thought, I started covering like the stock market stuff. And so Life of Mine sort of went into the, the mining and finance side of things. And I thought, right, I'm just going to start doing a daily news episode of what's going on the ASX, or around the world with mining stories, and didn't know stuff all about finance. So I'd try and mumble my way through it and revert it back to explaining the underground mining side of it or what's applicable, and that was sort of received well because everyone's like, oh yeah, it's good to get a practical explanation from it because I've worked down there, and I was thinking, right, I'll get bloody companies to pay me shit to talk to them or talk about it. Investor relations, there's a whole lot of bloody companies that make shitloads out of that, just to talk about people's stock. And I'm like, I should be able to tap into that, and sort of was, and then I was doing like jumbo training videos and all this sort of stuff as well, and all these, and I was like, I should be able to piece something together to make a living of some sort. It won't be mining wages, but hopefully build it up. And I was sort of ticking along for a couple of months, and I was like, just walls are caving in. And thinking, this is just not going to work, and chewing through all the coin. And I'm like, and I was nearly about to ready to throw the towel in. But, then got approached by Trav, who's the guy I'm with now, randomly, and he's like, I like what you're doing. Would you consider, I wouldn't mind doing it with you. I said, well, geez, that'd help because I don't fuck all about finance. And you seem to know a shitload. And he's like, yeah, I know this other guy too that's real into consuming financial media and everything. And I'm like, those blokes just absolutely saved my ass. And then we, April last year, we went full time with Money of Mine, and it's just been like a daily mining news episode. So we, popped out one Monday to Friday, and it just, I don't know, it just wasn't really planned how we're going to do it. I was the mining bogan with the mining experience. They had all the finance experience. They know how all the friggin' M&A deals and the ins and outs and that sort of stuff. So I guess we put it all together, and we're like, we'll just keep doing it every day and see if it works. And thank God it has.
You're allowed to swear on this podcast, so thank you.
I'll always try to keep the C-bombs out of it these days. So.
Oh, definitely the C-bombs. I don't. Yeah, but the rest of the bombs are all right.
Every other bomb's fine.
Exactly. I would like to say about the that podcast, and because you do videos as well, don't you? So you can see you all in your glory and all that.
Yeah, she's a bloody flat thing. Trav set it all up.
It's a flash thing. It's very highfalutin.
Yeah, I would have just been audio only till now, probably. So thank God we had them boys. But no, it's going bloody well. People we make the money out of doing ads and stuff, and I don't know, companies weirdly pay me to talk absolute shit about them and make up fake rumours about what their company does, and half of it's not even true.
Wow.
But they love it. So, because it's,
God.
Well, you know what it's like on a podcast ad. Most of them are pre-recorded ads, and it's the same one every time, and you just skip through them. So it's like, got to figure out a way to do them, like that it's funny and people have got a reason to listen to them. So we and then mining companies are like, well, all the people listening are the people we're trying to sell shit to. The whole philosophy is I'm just going to keep doing it till people stop paying me, and we'll go from there.
That's a good philosophy, and I have
detailed business
tuned
plan.
into quite a few, but that's a good business plan. I like it. Take that to the bank. Take that to the bank and get an investment. But I just found it was just a bit over my head, a lot of it. You brought it back to me, to real life and that, but a lot of it was it's investing, and because it's global as well, isn't it? It's not just Australian.
We got
and that.
Plenty of bit of North Queensland. Yeah. Bit of North Queensland chat about Whitehaven and Blackwater and Dornier and so we're giving you a bit of love. Oh mate, the North Queensland copper scene's going off, mate. That could be the next big area.
Oh, you heard it here first, or probably not. Probably heard it on Money of Mine first.
Yeah. We're talking about Capricorn Copper today because they're suspended operations up that way.
Right.
But that's the underground metal. But because I didn't know bugger all about coal before this, but the boys are right, Trav's right into it, so I got a bit up the curve on what's going on. It's a whole district I'd never even explored, Mumsy.
When you spoke to me on my podcast.
I think I actually mentioned in one of the episodes that they call shift change pajama day over there. So I didn't forget.
Yeah, I'm glad that you remembered something from that chat. Oh my God. So the thing I've noticed a lot in the news lately is about nickel. Is it nickel? Being like, well, people don't aren't going to want it anymore, and it's dropped, and the arse is dropping out of it, and all that. Is that right?
Yeah, it's gone to bloody shit. So
well, right. That's what I thought.
people still want it, but I guess what the quick summary of it is when it was all to go into these long range batteries for the electric vehicles, but they didn't. The world didn't say all nickel mines are bloody starting everywhere. The sulfide, the good nickel, they call it class 1 nickel. All these sulfide mines like your Cambalda and BHP were ramping up all their ones in Western Australia. And I guess what happened was they didn't consider how much nickel was going to come out of Indonesia, because that's where the majority of the nickel is, but it's the class 2 laterite, so it's lower grade, but just an absolute metric fuck ton of it over there. And there wasn't actually a process to convert that shit nickel into the good nickel to be used in batteries, but then the Chinese and the Indonesian bloody nickel producers figured out a way to do it, and that's when you hear about the HPALs, the high pressure acid leaching, to process it, and then they convert it into the class 1 to put in the battery. So that really came to the forefront. So because that was getting that much nickel's coming out of there, which surpasses any amount of nickel that we could get in Australia or anywhere else in the Western world, really. Between the Philippines and Indonesia, that just took control of the market. So when there's shitloads of it, the price goes down. So then it became not feasible to, mine it in Australia like all these mines were planning. So you had Savannah shut down, you had Cambalda, the Mincor assets, which Andrew Forrest bought. So he bought them and then they had to put them into care and maintenance, which is happening mid this year. And BHP assets are on the brink of going into care and maintenance, so it all happened very bloody quickly. So, which is pretty, and like a lot of fucking shitloads of workers get affected by that, like thousands, down in Ravens. Yeah, Ravensthorpe was another big one. That's that was First Quantum. They're a real big dog, but that's like a local commute. Like probably a lot of residential people work there, and that when you set your family up and everything to work in these mining towns, Cambalda was the same. Like, and then you get told that the mines are shutting down. Like it's friggin' life changing. So we hang shit on a lot of companies if they do, bloody piss poor business decisions or something could have been prevented, but you never say anything negative about the workers that are affected by it, because they're just they're hamstrung by the company and the commodity prices. So it'd be a friggin' horrible thing to go through, especially when you've got mortgages and bloody kids to feed.
Exactly.
So but nickel's always been like that. It's just been that boom bust sort of commodity. It's just not like a gold or a coal that's sort of very stable. Gold's had its shit times too, but I guess not now. You wouldn't anticipate it.
Not not for a long time.
That's the risk of mining, isn't it? You've got to make hay while the sun shines.
That's what I was going to say. And also it affects the local businesses in those towns that rely on the people who are working in the mines, and sometimes one partner, be it the male, the female, or the whatever they identify as, is working in the mines, and the other person is either owns a business in town, like a baker, or or they work in town. But then when the mine shuts down and people they have to leave, they got no job, and no one's going to go to the local IGA or to the town club or to the this or to the that, it breaks your heart. You see it over, and I've seen it quite a few times.
And all those towns are built around mines. Like a lot of those towns would not be there if it wasn't for the mining industry. Like Cambalda is the perfect example. Like it was sort of dead and buried till this nickel resurgence. Some people live there. There was some gold mines, but nickel was the primary reason why Cambalda was a town built by Western Mining back in the day, which That's who BHP bought out. But and that was sort of getting revived with all this new nickel mines, and now they're getting shut down. And you know, the town was starting to get back to its bloody heyday. So yeah, thoughts are with everyone that go through that shit. It's friggin' horrible. So
I didn't know. Like, I knew that there was a lot of shit going on with nickel. It's kind of how I am in the investment side of things. That's all I know is that it's not good.
Now could be the time to buy when it's out of flavour, mate.
But who do you buy? Like, who's still going to be there?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, you know, we were talking about it's you got to find projects that are going to survive in the shit times. We were just talking about one today, Centaurus. They've got one in Brazil, which is like, you know, it's a good mine. It needs a shitload of money to build it, but you got to find mines that are going to survive even shit prices. Whereas a lot of these nickel mines that were coming online only survive in good price environments. But it's you don't. They haven't got the last say. The bloody, you know, pretty much Indonesia at the moment, even though it's like environmentally horrible what they do over there. Like, you'd never get away with what they do in Australia, just dumping tailings in the ocean, and it's just bloody just clearing forests to mine these laterite deposits. But they operate under such a different, you know, set of standards than we do in the West. But fuck, if you're going to buy an EV, or you're going to build an EV, what are you going to do? You want nickel, that's the cheapest place to get it. So everyone's
What's an EV?
Oh, electric vehicle.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Yes, I did know.
Mate, you'll be on fire.
I thought that was an investment term that I didn't know.
That like is an investment term.
If you're going to buy, if you're going to invest in an EV,
Mate, an EV is actually an investment term as well. Enterprise value. That's the market cap of the company minus the debt plus the cash. No, sorry, minus the cash plus the debt, like the value of the business. Mate, you are going to be a guru after this.
Mate, I've got to start listening to your Money of Mine podcast a lot more now.
Maybe I should do, because half the stuff the other boys say, I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about myself. So maybe I should do like a Maddie version that is like at bloody beginner's level, and that's probably good for myself too. Then I'll understand it, because if I understand it, everyone will, because we're all just bloody rock apes. So
knuckle draggers, as my sister would call her partner.
Knuckle draggers.
Who's also a jumbo operator. Oh, he's retired now too. But yeah, when you were saying about the nickel and how they can make the shit nickel into better nickel through a process that can then compete and therefore flooding the market with cheaper prices. The same could happen with coal if they could find a way to make thermal coal as good as coking coal to use with steel. Is that right?
Oh, geez, I'm venturing into uncharted waters.
Oh, look at me! You'll have to.
I think that's a function of because I guess nickel is, once you go through that whole process, whether it's from class 2 or class 1, you come out with nickel in the end, whereas the coal, thermal and coking coal, is a function of how much carbon is the carbon content. So the coking coal is a higher carbon content that's what's used for the smelting as the coking coal. So that's what it's a function of, because, you know, when you process nickel, you come out, you're trying to get to nickel at the end, whereas coal, you're not really processing it. Like, you just, like, they blend it all and everything, to my understanding. But they just blow it up, and that's either used then for power, wash it off for power stations, or then shipped over to China to be used in a steel smelter. So it's same as iron ore. Like, iron ore is not like processed to the point where you've got solid iron. It's just exported to as a bloody, a 68% or 66% or a 58 or bloody whatever it is. But then they extract that to for the steel. So yeah, it's a bit different. Like gold's homogeneous. Like, when you mine gold, you get gold at the end. That's what you produce. Whereas I think coal is, because it's the purpose is for either bloody pushing steam in a turbine or smelting for steel. So yeah, I don't think you could actually convert it, to my knowledge.
So you'd need to, from what
Jeez,
all
I
of
might
that
trip up
very
here.
intelligent stuff that you just said, very good. I love having people like you on the podcast. If you could find a way to insert more carbon into thermal coal, would
I don't
that
think you'd
then
be able
make
to do
it
that.
coking coal or no? Because it's just
No, I
old
don't
shit
think
in
so.
the ground. Isn't it?
Yeah,
No.
it's
Okay. No, that's
just
cool.
all bloody. It's just all swamp shit.
Just all black shit, but I
Yeah,
don't necessarily.
I don't think.
Really?
Do you know anything about that? I'm all ears. Bloody yeah.
No, that's what I'm asking. I know bits of it.
Well, I think you can use, to my knowledge, you can use coking coal as thermal coal.
Thermal, yes,
because it's a lot more. It's a better quality, so I think it's more efficient, but it's a lot more expensive. It's the pricing of it.
Yeah, in the downturn here in 2007, 8, maybe, like early 2000s, there's a real downturn in the coal. Oh, there's a train coming. Can you hear it?
Mate, coal-fired train.
You know what that means?
Coal
Time
train.
for a beer. I think it's electric. I don't know if it's electric. No, it's not electric. Time for a drink anyway.
The electricity comes from coal. It's technically coal.
Oh, well, it is, exactly. Yeah, that's right. But I remember in the downturn, I stayed at the mine I was at because we had really good coal, coking coal. But I stayed there because we could cool our coking coal whatever the buyer wanted it to be. So,
Yeah.
yes, we could sell it for less than we would in the peak of what it's really worth, but we could sell it as good and blend it because we had all different sorts as well, whereas a lot of other mines, the thermal mines, were doing it real tough in that time.
There's like now that's where like your likes of Glencore and BHP and all that, like with their coking coal, they have, because the prices, with this whole ESG transition, which has sort of pivoted back a little bit, where they're like, nah, everything's got to be fucking renewables. Coal's not the future. So thermal coal price, I think, because there wasn't any development in, like, the restrictions on development. Well, I think what they do, they change the royalties or something in Queensland. So yeah, and then
yes, the highest royalties in the world. We get ads
there's no
every
incentive
night about it.
Yeah, so there's no incentive to bring on new mines. So that's why there was that big coal spike, because the existing ones. So when there's no new supply coming on, that means the existing ones, like, your supply constrained. So if people and it's not like bloody coal plants were really getting shut down rapidly. So the existing producers just made an absolute killing. And same now with because you're not incentivising new coal mines in Queensland, like the met coal is like they're still making steel in China, so they still need coking coal. So they are making an absolute killing. Like,
and in India,
BHP, Glencore, bloody Yancoal. Yancoal is like, what are they? They pay 30% dividend a year. So which is
Stanmore, another big one over here. Stanmore.
Yeah, so there's ones like Coronado. They're an interesting one. They're actually, even with the high prices, they're not actually performing that well. Yeah, they're listed on the ASX. God, I wish Trav was here right now. He could fucking help me with this coal stuff.
That's all right. No. It's all good. It's all good.
Mate, I've found if you just lean forward and act confident, people will believe you. Piece of piss.
Is that right? I'll take that on board. I just leant forward then as we Because and that was one of my questions also is, and I don't know how to word it without offending.
Just lean
But
forward.
did you feel like you were out of your comfort zone with all of those very knowledgeable people about?
Mate.
I was going to say intellectual. You're obviously intellectual as well, but I mean knowledgeable about investing. And then there's you sitting in there going, yeah, I must admit, I feel like you've changed a bit since we last talked.
Yeah, I know.
More, I don't know, a bit posher or something.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Not a knuckle dragger proper anymore.
Yeah, I know. I've lost my street cred, mumsy.
I still love you. It's all right.
Yeah, but and the thing was because I'd never worked in finance and shit. But then I'm like, if I'm on a frigging podcast talking about it, if I say one wrong thing, which I do regularly, like you'd get frigging bloody dragged over the coals for it. So it's like, fuck, I've got to actually learn this shit properly. So I've got to say things correct, because if I don't, I sound like a dickhead. And bloody everyone's like, who's this bogan fuckwit on the podcast? Yada, yada. So continuous cycle.
So you want to be the bogan who knows shit as well.
Yeah, well, so it made me I was just forced to learn it. So I had the two boys with me right into finance, and then like the people were meeting people non-stop in the industry. So you just like friggin' I'm just peppering everyone all the time, because there's just countless amounts of things to learn. Then when you learn one thing, you realise you've got another 6,000 to go. And then
you don't even know what you don't know.
Hey, I will say, street cred, I do have a mullet now. So
you do? Turn around. I need to see you a bit more. Oh, that is good. That's
so good. I'm keeping some sort of, and I'm still vaping, I'm still drinking piss. So I'm keeping some sort of street cred in the mining industry. That's sort of balancing it out, I think.
You're hilarious. Now, I do want to bring this up before we move on to your other venture. Is with Money of Mine, you also go to places and you're at expos and you're in other businesses and stuff, aren't you, as well? Yeah, or you were for a bit. And I'm like, look at him, he's bloody out there rocking it. That's what I should be doing, but I don't.
Nah, well, we went to a couple of conferences last year and tried to film, and like you're always talking to people and like yarn, and so it's hard to film. But then what happens is, like, after the conference is finished at night, I'll go and get absolutely blottoed because I get very excited about the event and the arena with all these people, and then I'm out till bloody 4 a.m. Then I don't turn up the next day, and if I do, I look like a bloody smashed crab, and I can't speak properly, and I just make a bloody dickhead of myself trying to film something. So I'm limiting my BD, the business development stuff, which is like pretty much going to conferences and getting shit-faced. So I'm trying to control that. It's a demon. The underground mine is still in me. I just can't help myself. I'm fucking hopeless.
Well, that's right. You've got to have a life as well.
No, well, I want to go next time. I'm just like, I'm not filming anything. I'm just going there and getting shit-faced and not being accountable. And then I won't be accountable for anything. So, it's... Oh no! But what happens is this is the world of mining and ASX stocks. All the companies want you to talk about them to pump their stock up, and it's usually all the shit exploration companies that are never going to make money, and they're just trying to want
people to give them money.
Yeah, they're just trying to bloody use us to. They're like, can we come on your podcast? We're like, no. We're like, and then even if you get all the CEOs and that on, like, they end up just being a big fluff piece about how good they are, and it just sounds shit, whereas we'd rather talk between ourselves. Like, we're independent. We don't take money off any mining company on the ASX because that conflicts you, because once you got coin off them, you might talk favourably about them and avoid talking about the negative things. So it's like, we the only ones that sponsor us are like service providers or like drilling companies or just anyone that is not on the stock market or like has an incentive to like the stockbrokers and that would never take money off them because they're trying to get us to pump their stocks that they hold so they make money. So then as soon as the audience thinks we've sold out, we've lost the trust of the audience.
Yeah.
So, and that's, so we've stuck to, and the whole philosophy is what we're like on camera is exactly what we're like in person. So it's, as long as we stick to that, we haven't got any bosses. I don't even wear shoes to work. Like I'm walking around.
Oh God, that's one of the questions that I had up here was, what's it like having freedom to speak and be yourself without HR from where you're working looking over your shoulder and, you're seen to represent the company. But then on the other hand, also because you're doing it with other people, it's not just your brand. You know, like you've also got to be aware of, like you say, you can't just take money off people and talk shit about the wrong one or at the wrong time. Or
no, well, that's it. And it's good now. It's just the three of us, and we've got a Ali that helps us 2 days a week. She just like keeps us all together. She's the glue. But the three of us were like, well, we don't have a boss, thank God, because we don't want a boss, and we don't want a HR department. We don't want to do marketing. We don't want to deal with any shit. It's like you just got to run it lean and it's all sweat equity. And I don't know, I suppose, as I said, we'll just keep doing it till we stop getting paid for it. So it doesn't really feel like a business. It's a bloody podcast. But I don't know, it was surviving. So we'll just keep doing that, I think. As I said, it would be no good trying to get a loan from a bank. What's your business plan? I don't know, just keep getting paid, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, bye. You clown.
Come on, give us 50 at least. Come on.
Now for a word from our sponsor, Julia Hartman and the Bantax Accounting Group. If you head to bantax.com.au/miners, that's BANTACS, you can download a free booklet all just for us miners. And there's also a spreadsheet in there that helps you check off what tools you have for your trade, like your isolation lock, work boots, 7 shirts, all of these sorts of things, and you can weigh them up and it'll tell you if you qualify weight-wise to claim your trips out to work. I strongly urge you to head to bantax.com.au/miners and tell them Mad Mumsy sent you.
So let's talk about your new baby, Mining Select, made by miners. Are they the same people that you do the podcast with?
No, not at all. Not at all. This is just like, I thought if I'm going to be be able to live not mining, I need probably a couple of pies with my fingers in. Absolutely. Because I'll just need one of them to work then. I've got like 200% extra chance because if bloody one doesn't work and I only have one, I'm fucked. So, but if I got two, I've got double the chance. One of my, or is one of the
just before you go on with that, Matt, sorry to interrupt, you know I do that. But for my listeners, you've got once you've got the skills, like you've got the skills of a jumbo operator, so you can have that risk to go out and have a crack and do something else, but you've still got it. And if you wanted to or needed to or had to, you could be dragged back underground and do it again. But that can also be the incentive to make the other shit work so you don't have to do it.
No, I don't miss it at all either. I did enjoy it, but like, I've actually got the fact that I'm home with the kids now and everything, like I've got no urge to go away for a week and get up at bloody 3:45 in the morning and and mentally I just couldn't do it anymore. I'd just bloody drink every night and I'll just be waiting to get home to the kids and it was do not miss it at all. I could bloody drop 5 or 6 kilos back to me jumbo weight. I'm skipping in the mornings now, trying to bloody...
Are you skipping? I could see you skipping. Oh.
Yeah, I got one of them big heavy bastards. I only do it for about 40
right.
seconds, but it's bloody better than nothing.
It is. It's a beginning and you'll feel like you're doing something. But I guess my point in interrupting you is to say that once you've got the skill, you can still have a little bit of a risk and try something else and know that you've got that. And if you need to, you can go back. Like I could even go back driving a truck or a grader or a loader, or if I wanted to, if I could pass the medical, if I had to. But I don't want to. I get the labour hire companies, which is a good segue. I get the labour hire companies now sending me messages. We got one today. They rang actually. Oh, we're just updating our database. Are you still interested? And I still stay in the database just in case, right?
No, you still got a foot in.
That's it. So talk to me about the new Mining Select.
Well, one of the early guys I interviewed on Life of Mine, and it's again a thing that's come out of, the podcast I did for fucking ages, and you think that you're working your ass off for nothing, but you just when you're having a crack, you just never know what opportunities might come with it. And this came about, 4 years after I did that interview. So I interviewed Mark Bowden, and he was Bowden Select, which is it was one of the big mining recruitment companies in WA. He's very, very well known, very successful, and just I actually didn't know him from a fucking bar of soap. I just cold called him, and he looks like a bikie. He's straight out of Kalgoorlie, bloody covered in tats and bloody everything.
My sort of guy, I like.
Mate, he was just straight up on the phone. He's like, well, why would I do it? What's in it for me? And what's in it for you? I said, look, mate, I'm starting this podcast. I'm having a crack. Just wanting to, you're a well-known man in the industry. Fucking that's it. I'll get more out of it than you. And he's like, oh, yeah, no worries. And we did an interview, and then we stayed in touch. And like when I did that bloody tagged off website thing, like it sort of didn't really take off.
That's
it was like
the
the passed away miners from not just from mining accidents, from personal ones. So I wanted to get a bit of a thing together to remember all the people from the industry, and I tried to build a website and got fucked over and by the website people. Got a second one done, and I was friggin' 15 grand in the hole. And he sponsored it for me, and that is the bloke he is. And then from that, we just always kept in touch, always bloody yarning, and actually became very good friends. I'm like, this bloke is, one of the most trustworthy, reputable blokes in the industry. But he only trusts people that are trustworthy, and he obviously must have. You don't want to be on the bloody bad side, but it's very good when you're on the good side, because he's just a man with very high integrity and morals, and friggin' a hard worker. So he obviously must have saw the same sort of thing in me, and it was start of last year. He floated the first idea of it. He said, look, I've got an idea, like something that he's had in the bank. He's the main man of it. I'm just a bit of a passenger with it. But we started talking about it, and he said, look, I've got this idea, because he was working for another company because he sold his business, and he was looking to, get back into something eventually that was his. And he said, look, I've got this idea about for mining recruitment, because mining recruitment's pretty, stock standard. It was all the big players, and it was pretty standard how they do it. He's like, want to create a platform that's a bit of Seek, it's a bit of LinkedIn, and it's a bit of Tinder. So we usually
I wasn't expecting that. I need a drink. Hang on.
Well, and then, oh, God, the HR bloody people go get the shits about it. But, look, Tinder's a very friggin' successful, international business.
That's right.
And it's worked for a lot of happy marriages coming out of bloody Tinder. Exactly. And the idea was, right, let's create a platform where you can have all the workers on there. They bloody put a profile up, all their skill, what their skill set is, what their experience is, how much money they want, and everything. And then the companies chuck up their jobs, and the jobs is like exactly where the job is, how much the job's paying, and all the details. And that's I guess the Seek component. And then creating something where you can actually, the workers and the company can like message each other. So similar to LinkedIn, like the jobs come up and you swipe left or swipe right if you like it. And you can shortlist them, and the workers can then chat directly to the company, say, oh, look, what day do you fly out? And they're like, Thursday. They're like, oh, no, can't do it. All good. And being able to limit it to Australian only, because the biggest thing with Seek is, you might get friggin' 150 CVs, but 147 of them might be from Africa. Whereas we're like, right, Australian mobile number verification only. So it's just Australian people on there. And the big one was like, for a company to be on there, they have to be, 85% full-time employment. So all your labour hire mobs that are getting the workers to work on behalf of them, and, the companies have to pay a, 30-odd% premium to go through the labour hire mob.
To other companies.
Yeah, so it's like, why can't we create a platform that allows the companies just to directly employ people and not have to go through labour hire and get the same person at a cheaper rate, or just as if they're working directly. And so that was the initial idea. And then we're like, it was me and him just literally, oh God, I don't know, it would have been from last year, every day on my trip home, because I've got about a 30-minute drive, it's me and him on the phone. And it's just become routine now. I'll just call him every fucking day. And since the start, that's what it's been. So we're like, right, go to a app developer, like start planning it out, buddy. So we're trying to, deal with tech people, and that's been a journey and a half, I can tell you that. But we had to build this platform, plan it out, whilst we're both bloody working and everything. So trying not to burn too much on it. It cost a bit to develop it. And it got released in start of this year. So, it's only been going a couple of months. So, we've got to have I think we've got 1,000 workers on it within the first week.
Sweet.
So, but it's that whole, at the moment, it's a chicken and the egg scenario. So you're trying to get a lot of workers on there, but to get a lot of workers, you need a lot of jobs. But then to get the companies to put the jobs on there, they want to know that there's a lot of workers on there. So it's a bit gradual. And then, because we were like, the initial thoughts when we first planned it was like, it'll just be for the underground mining community. Whereas then we're like, why limit it to that? So we've got open pit, we've got
look at you letting us open.
Well, because that was our niche, was underground. So it was like,
yes, I know, and you stick to what you know.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, why don't we just integrate it all to, like, we're going to have, like, just do it in stages. But like, fuck it, we're just got to open it up right now. So, like, between your open pit, your processing, your exploration, all your techs, all your white collar, so bloody engineers, GOs, surveyors, managers, all the corporate. So get it, like our goal is to just completely fuckseek off from mining, because all the people I talk to, like no one, I've not really heard a good thing about companies that use Seek. They're like, Seek have got the absolute monopoly on job advertisements. And because they've got the monopoly, everyone's like, it costs a shitload. They get a lot of foreign applications. They spend that much time going through CVs and trying to shortlist. We're like, why can't we just give something that's more quality over quantity? And then I guess, so then we're just...
I've got my hand up. I have a question.
Oh, yes, Miss Mumsy.
Hence the delay, which I'm going to leave in. I was trying not to interrupt. But so do companies have to pay to put their jobs on Seek?
Yeah, shitloads.
True.
Like,
right.
Every bloody job, like depending on their package and how big they are, but they can be like hundreds of dollars per job. Like some companies spend north of 100,000 up to 500,000, up to $1 million a year just on Seek. Like just to put all their job advertisements up. Like, and medium-sized companies can spend in the hundreds of thousands just to advertise their jobs on Seek every year. And that's just a recurring thing, and Seek's got the monopoly. So until fucking now.
Right. Bring it on. So do you think, or do you know, do they have to pay, companies, would they pay more if they have a lot, like if they, per people that apply? Like I know with email marketing, the more subscribers you have, the more you pay, which is why you get emails from people saying, do you really want to be on my email list? If not, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because you costed me money.
They have to pay extra to get the ads branded with them. Like, so they can have a basic ad, but then to brand it to their company, they have to pay extra. And then there's like Seek Talent Search, which I think is like the big search database to use. I think that's then extra. So it's just a big bloody add-on thing. But companies are hamstrung because that's their main tool to use.
How you apply for the job.
And Seek they've had the tenure, like they've been around forever, and it's just the go-to thing. It's like, but it's not designed for mining. It was funny. Seek put up
everything. Is it for everything?
It's everything. But it's not like I remember seeing there was a thing that come up on Seek about how to the criteria to be a jumbo operator. It was probably a friggin' AI generated thing, and you look in and it's like, oh yeah, you have to have done year 12 and you need this license and you need this license, and we read it and we're like, bloody most of the best jumbo operators I've met fucking haven't even finished year 8. So like it was just not like, it's not designed for the mining industry, whereas we're like, we want to create something that is purely for the mining industry, and it covers every discipline, and it's kind of like age-old thing, something new. It's a slow burn, but like, and because what we've found as well, like when we go to companies because it's all free for the workers just sign up, go open slather, and then the companies then pay to post X amount of jobs, and it's at a fraction of the price of what they pay for Seek, because we can fucking make money off it charging about a quarter of what Seek charges. And
you're helping the employees as well.
Oh, exactly. And you're helping the companies. It's like fucking you're getting the workers cheaper.
Yes, and it's not through all these, like, I'm someone who tries, like, my main target, I guess, audience is wannabe miners, people who want to get into mining, and people who are new in mining. And then there's a lot of old timers who listen as well, just for a laugh. Hello, I love you. But they, what am I trying to say? A lot of companies won't tell you. I've digressed, but this is where I was going. A lot of companies. What the fuck? I just got your ad block has been updated.
Oh, that's great news.
I'm like, what happened there? He's gone. No. Is they'll put a job out, but they won't say where it is, and they won't say how much it is, and they won't say the roster. Maybe not on Seek.
Yeah.
I think they're a bit more. They'll tell you a bit more. But if you see that on social media or in a lot of other platforms or portals, as they all are called now, you don't get all the details, and people, especially on social media, will say, well, where is it? What's the roster? How much is it paying? And the things that I've heard is that also they're just trying to build their database of employees. A lot of times there's not actually a job. It's more of an expression of interest. And so you give them everything. You give them your resume, you give them all your details, you give them all the things, and you never hear from them again. And then there isn't, a lot of times, hasn't even really been a job. And it's been a big thing that I've seen in recent months on social media.
Oh, definitely. And then even when they put jobs up and they're pretty friggin' opaque on the information of the job, like they get a worker and onboard them and get them up to site, and they're there for a week and they're like, oh, this is a fucking shithole, and I'll quit. And like it costs bloody 10 grand at least to onboard them and kit them out and get them up to site, and then they snatch it. So it's like, why not provide something where they can actually chat about those particular things because like the whole thing is when they put a job up, they can then, the companies can add the foreman or the project manager or the site supervisor or whatever, like who their actual boss is going to be to that job. And then people inquiring can chat to that person through that. And then the bosses can screen them themselves. They're like, nah, this person is not the right fit. Instead of HR just sending people, the recruitment team sending people straight to site, and then they get up, they're like, oh, this person's a bloody dickhead, I don't want them here. Whereas you can filter that stuff out before. You save the company money, you save the time and hassle of finding someone else. And it's just it's like exponential how much benefit you get on the cost and time front. So like if we can cut that shit out, well, it's great. It's great for everyone, isn't it? Because even for the workers, if they don't like the joint, isn't it better they know straight away before even going there, rather than going to the effort going there, then they have to find another job?
Absolutely, and that's my whole point. And it's all the little things. A lot of feedback I get is they don't answer me. I don't know when I'm meant to get on the plane. I don't know when I'm flying. Like, how much can I take with me? Is there Wi-Fi there? Can I talk to my family when I'm there? Is there
Telstra coverage?
Right, or do I have to buy a burner Optus phone? Because it's only
drug dealer phone.
the first mine I went to here in Queensland, that one I was talking about earlier, no Telstra back then, and so the servo sold burner Optus phones, and I got one of those and a new number, and because the line up at the actual telephone back in the day. Back in the day, mate, was way too long, and you couldn't send a text or anything. But the other thing too is, another huge thing is sending your emails. So there's a big industry around resume preparing, shall we say, so that you can beat the robots. Because if you go on the likes of Seek and you send your resume, a lot of them will be automated to, no, does not compute, flick. whatever it is. If you miss a little, you haven't got a keyword in there, or you haven't got a this or a that, I'm going to have a resume lady on in the next few episodes, hopefully, to explain what it should be. But with a platform like yours, that would take that out, would it?
Yeah, and oh, definitely, and we've only got sort of V1 out at the moment, which is the platform and connected the workers to the companies, but shitloads in the pipeline in terms of we're going to have like an online CV building tool. So instead of having to go to someone to do it for you, you can build your own CV, you upload your police clearance, upload your fucking dangerous good cards, your tickets, your RPLs or whatever. So that's your system, it's all there. And then when the company actually wants to onboard you, it's like flick it over, you can actually start the onboarding process and all the stuff's there. So that's one thing. And then because a lot of when we're trying to sell this to companies now to get on board, one of the key thing is, I don't know if we're going to have time to use it and all that. Even though it's just going to help them, it's because it's different. It's a change. We're trying to create something that's new, and people hate change. So we're well, bugger it. We're actually going to provide our own recruitment team that can be yep, no dramas. You put your jobs up, we'll manage the jobs for you, we'll shortlist the people, and we'll just hand them over to you. And then that solves that problem. So you're just constantly getting presented with problems or queries or bloody reasons why companies don't want to use it. So it's we can either sook in the corner about it, or it's let's figure out a way we can bloody fix it. So that's what we're going to do. So you just got to be reactive non-stop. So we're thinking we can hopefully provide the whole turnkey, vertically integrated recruitment solution, so you can pretty much take it over for companies. But it's I guess it's the same as going to a recruitment agency or a labour hire mob, but you're getting the direct employment. You're getting that person work for you at your rate instead of paying a shitload premium to get a third party to do it for you. So
per hour of the employee's wage, for labour hire. So we might be getting so much per hour, but they're charging us out to the client, to the company, at a higher rate because that's how they make their money. Whereas you're doing, is it a monthly fee for your platform?
So depending on how many jobs they want to post. So it's the old, it's either a 4-job package or a 10 job or a 20 job or an unlimited, depending on which package and how big the company is. The 4-job ones for your, might be just your smaller companies, people that just run fitters and they just have a few workshop fitters and they just want to post 4 jobs a month. So there's the affordable one for them. And then all the way up to the bigger companies that want to post 20 jobs a month. So it's all tiered that way, and then there'll be the additional fee to have the jobs managed. So you essentially, so if you wipe out paying a recruiter all in, once you include super and frigging annual leave and everything, could easily $100,000. So it's if we can do that for them, utilising we're essentially going into the recruitment market, but we've got a tool that no one else has got, which is the Mining Select platform. So hopefully it's going to be a bit of a game changer. We're hoping we're going all in on it, but we're just you get stressed with the whole journey. But when you've got something that no one else has got, and it's no, you're going to get hiccups and bloody humps on the road along the way, but if you just stick to the core value of who we are and what we've developed, it's it's going to work. You just got to get a bit of mongrel about you and never give up. So, and when bloody the obstacles get put in front of you, you're like, right, how do we friggin' knock that down so it's not an obstacle anymore?
Exactly. And a lot of those obstacles or what might be seen as objections are huge because, like, from mining companies, say, or even from an employee who says, yeah, but what about this or whatever, they help you to then find out what it is that you can either with your messaging say, yeah, no, you're right, but because we've got it this way, that's not a thing. Or you can go, oh, I hadn't quite thought about it. Thanks, we'll take that on board and we'll give that a tweak, and especially in your foundational stages.
Yeah.
You got to, I'm sure you're open to that. You'd have to be.
Oh, definitely. Oh, then because there's shit we haven't thought about, and we're constantly bloody iterating the whole thing and like adding things on and taking things away and things that you just didn't foresee in the planning. The customer's always right, but a lot of the things
until they're not. That's what we say in my work.
But a lot of the things they ask for, it's like, oh, do you do this? Do you do that? And we're like, does Seek do that? No, they don't. And we're bloody a fraction of the price. So like, it's just because it's all going to get there eventually. It's just you got to keep adding onto it and make it better every day. You just got to make sure the bloody developers are pulling their weight and not working on other shit. But that's the joy of technology, I guess. But no, it should be good. We're thinking so, like, and that because the fact that we're trying, like, it'd be easier if we were just focused on the underground market and we could just focus on that. That'd be a quicker execution. But like, we're like, nah, we want to open up to coal. We want to open up to iron ore. We want to open up to gas, like bloody everything. Well, shit, I actually haven't got gas jobs in there yet, but I'll better do that after this. You just, hey, cheers, mate. That was bloody.
Hey, cheers, right? You can thank me for that.
Prompting the thought, and then it's like, So I guess it's pretty exciting. Sky's the limit. So we're just when I needed extra friggin' shit to work on to make my life more complicated. I think I love the pain, if anything, but.
I think you do. Because you don't get it underground anymore. You got to get it from somewhere. You're not getting it from your family because they're just happy you're home. And
bloody Bowdo's the one doing most of it. He does friggin' 10 times more work than me on it. He's on it non-stop. So I'm not going to claim I'm I'm not the brains behind it and I'm not the workload behind it, but keenly involved. He's the main man. So
and you're a great spokesperson for it as well, and you've got a lot of connections and experience as well as a worker.
Oh, exactly. But it's actually just fun as well. Like, me and Bowdo have, developed a bloody good friendship. And, mate, as I said, you don't judge a book by its cover just because he's covered in tats. He's one of the bloody smartest blokes I know business-wise and strategy. And, mate, doing this with him, doing it together has been friggin' fun. And when we both got our bloody cocks on the block for it in terms of time and having to make it work, it brings the bloody best out of you because, it's not a bit different to getting paid by a company like I used to. Fuck, it was a lot easier. But if you don't do any work now, I don't get anything. So I've got to work harder. I could bloody spend an hour doing nothing underground if I chose to and I'd still get paid. That doesn't work now. Not that I ever did that. I was a friggin'.
Hang on a minute, I need to spat my beer.
I was a bloody passionate machine down there, Mumsy. Loved it.
Oh, my God.
That's why I left as well, because like this new generation coming through, like back in my day, but everyone's bloody, you'd be down there working and you get up top and they're all fucking scrolling through TikTok at the tag board while you're still down there working. And I can't fight, but if I did, I would have punched them all in the throat. But Oh, it's just bloody. And, and the kids at school now, I've got the young bloke, he's just started high school, and, like, they never get any homework. And I'm like, why don't they get homework? And they're like, oh, no, it's all about their mental health. I'm like, oh, no wonder they're all soft as anything coming through now. They're just all bloody wrapped in cotton wool. God, no mongrel anymore. I'm only 37 and I'm already sounding like an old prick.
Oh, 37. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I was going to say you look older. No, I'm not.
Yeah. Going grey on the side now.
Oh.
But yeah, that's about the crux of it, mate. Sorry to bloody wank on about it, but
No, that's it. No, I wanted you to come on. I'm not going to say that. I wanted you to come on and wank on about it.
Yeah, well, when you live and breathe something, it's hard not to bloody, and you're passionate about it.
Exactly.
So yeah, mate, looking forward to working with a few coal companies over east. That's going to be fun.
Yes, absolutely. We'll make it happen for sure. Now, I've got a couple of little things here that I wanted to talk to you about. Traffic lights. Tell me about the traffic lights.
Oh yeah, so that's the.
I like that.
Oh, it's pretty old school, but it's simple. It's like when you create.
I'm a bit behind the times.
Oh no! Like when you create your profile, it's like the red is just I'm employed, so companies actually can't contact you unless you've liked a job or contacted them first. So that just stops them from getting spammed. Then amber is employed but considering options, and green is I want a job now. I'm ready for work. So that's how the whole back end works. So when the companies go in to look in the database of all the workers that match the skill set of the job they've put up, they know that they can only contact the greens and the oranges. And then they get a gauge on, they're like, right, this person wants to work right now, this one's employed, might need a bit of persuasion. So it's a simple thing, but it's sort of how the whole system works.
I really like it too that as an employee or the job seeker, that like you say, you don't get spammed. It's like you're saying, I'm ready, here, pick me, or no, I'm good. Like today I got that phone call from a labour hire company. They just randomly rang me.
Yeah.
Oh, are you still looking for a job? Yeah, well, no. But and also the other thing I wanted to say is the graphics of the jobs. Who does that?
You there? Yeah, I just got to
I'm here.
I just got to plug my computer back in.
Oh, you got to plug in because your 40 minutes has gone over.
Oh no, you're too exciting.
I knew it wouldn't be 40 minutes. I was like, fuck off with your 40 minutes, but I'm not saying it out loud. He's changed. He's a busy man now.
There we are. I'm back in the other office.
Oh, good. You still got the same background though. That's funny.
Yeah, I know. Tricky.
Yeah, green. The graphics on so if for those listening, the graphics when you go into what's the website? I've got it here somewhere. Can you say it, Matt?
app.miningselect.com.au.
That's it. If you go in there and you can have a look around, all of the links will be in the show notes as always. And if you're listening, you can find the show notes right now if you're on your phone, if you're on a good app. And it'll be madmumsy.com/beers94 for all the links and how to connect and all the things. But you'll see the graphics like jumbo operator, and it's so cool and all that. And I was looking through and I'm like, oh my God, I love them. So who did those?
Oh, well, I could lie and say that they were all custom designed by me, but it's all they're all AI generated off GPT. Yeah, so like we've got type bloody code to say I want a yada dynamic looking jump operator underground miner, and it takes a couple of goes, and so that's why they're all and we tried to diversify them too, because I was generating them all and it was all just white blokes. And then we're like, oh, we
Yeah,
better.
with big, thick jaws and like Robocop kind of people with a jumbo thing.
Yeah, they're
I was
like, oh, geez, we
"Ugh."
better make sure we cover the genders, the ethnicities, and everything, because
Yeah.
it's like you get a bit tunnel vision sometimes. So, no, I think we've covered all bases on there. So, it's,
Oh my God, that's gold. I love that. I truly do love that. Now, I have another question for your platform. I'm not sure that right now it's ready for this, but what about my newbies, or not, maybe newbies? So they have a ticket for something, but they want to, they're looking for other opportunities. Definitely, they could do that. But what about for my wannabes, my people who clean skins, greenies, new to mining, no experience? Your platform isn't really for them yet, right?
no, there's a
What?
a greenie skill, so you can actually,
is there?
yeah, so you can, like, if people want to advertise a job for new to mining people can set up a profile, say, yep, just a like a greenie, and if companies want to advertise that they want like green truck drivers, then they can have them on there. So yeah, we don't want to. We want to get.
I'm gonna have a drink for that.
Get people into the industry as well, but like, yeah, there's obviously trying to control the spam side of things as well for us is a big thing. We don't want like every bloody Tom, Dick, and Harry from Australia on there like spamming them, because then it's a bad experience for the companies. So
Yes.
it's a bit of a balancing act. Like, we're trying to maintain the quality over quantity, but then we don't want to prevent people from getting into the industry. So if companies want to advertise a job for a new to mining person, they go their hardest, and then the people that'll show up that match that skill set are people that are new to mining. So it is a connecting tool for that as well.
Who are pre-qualified, so they're definitely Australian.
Yeah,
Or in Australia, not Australian, but
yeah,
they're what's the word? How do you say it? Free to work in Australia, or allowed to work in Australia?
yeah. So you have to have an Australian mobile number to get verified. So if you haven't got an Australian mobile number, your profile doesn't get verified, and you can't look for jobs, and you can't message companies. So until you're verified, that keeps those people out from that are going to, use it to harass companies, and not harass, but just constantly messaging, and which takes up the company's time. So yeah, it's maintaining that quality is a very bloody important thing for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when it comes to your time where you have the resume builder and stuff like that, I'm sure that'll be mining specific sort of resume building.
Yeah, so it's all like predetermined fields. Like you can,
exactly.
You just click open cut or you click coal, and it's all certain jobs for that category. So yeah, it controls everything a lot more, and it's predetermined rosters, predetermined pay rates, and things like that. So hopefully it'll just be a bit cleaner and easier for the companies, and it'll easier said than done. Wait till it's there.
Oh, absolutely.
There'll be some teething, no doubt, with any frigging technology thing.
And you need the people in there to do the teething as well.
Oh, exactly. That's we're hoping both the companies and the workers and that, get behind us, because we think we're having a crack. We think we've got something that's going to be good for the industry. Hopefully, obviously, we'll make a bloody quid out of it too. You don't do it for free. But, yeah, so it's all right if you make money out of something that's helpful for everyone. You don't feel too bad about it then.
No, well, it's called how the world goes around.
Yeah, we'll wait for bloody. Hopefully, if we can bloody make it big enough that Seek gets the shits with it and they just buy it off us, that'd be nice.
Oh, so you're already going to sell out to sea. There's a goal. But they got to do it your way. No.
Oh, they better come with a good check, Mumsy.
Oh, my God, I love that goal. That's the best. Like you just got to think bigger and better, and that's perfect.
Mate,
Typical,
well, once their invoices start getting smaller from the mining companies, pressure will be on them. They're a listed company. They're on the ASX. The shareholders will be asking. Yeah, the shareholders will be asking questions. They're a $9 billion company. See,
billion or million?
Billion. $9 billion company. They're about to lose the mining.
And that's good. And I'm all about, in my marketing research and knowledge and, what I know is about the riches are in the niches or the niches, depending where you're from, so niching down to mining, whereas Seek is all things to all jobs, all job seekers in the whole world.
Yeah. Pretty much. It covers everything. Yeah, it's a huge company. Yeah. And look, congrats to them. They've built a bloody good business and they've created a monopoly and they've got the brand. But it doesn't mean we can't knock them off the perch for mining.
That's it. I love it. And they started somewhere, Matt. Probably it'd be good to find out how. A couple of blokes having a few beers underground, or not underground, but at pub.
just two replicas of me and Bowdo. Well, Bowdo's the main man. He'll bloody get up me if I claim too much credit. It was his idea. I'm just I'm a sounding board, you'd say.
And you are a good sounding board, and you're one that people respect and will listen to, and you get out there and you'll talk to anyone. And
there's always a percentage of people that think you're a dickhead. I don't know what mine is. It's somewhere between 10 and 60%. Don't know. Should be right.
Do you know, I think I've shared this on the podcast before, but have you heard of the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
I think it's, I always get it wrong, but, do 20% of the shit that 20% of your actions will change 80% of your life or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's basically focusing on the right thing. But I remember at one of the band camps I was at mine, and they were all, I just felt like the old weird one that no one liked. And it was the worst mine I worked at, and for a lot of different reasons. But then I got to a point where I was like, 80-20 rule. 80% of people in my life, I feel like me, because I'm nice. I'm the nice.
You're a bloody legend.
Now I used to just be a mum, but I was Mad Mumsy then, but I was in the closet. No one knew I was Mad Mumsy. They were reading my articles at the Crib Hut in the Shift Miner magazine back when it was printed, not pay to only get digital, and then they didn't want me anymore. Apparently I didn't fit the digital profile.
Bloody bastard.
Oh, right. But Angus, the editor, gave me a crack, and I got to, so he helped me in my journey, like you said, with your mate who 4 years ago, and you're still connected, and now you've gone into this. But Angus gave me belief in myself. And so I was doing all these things and hiding from them and not enjoying mining anymore and all of that. And I came to a decision. I'll never forget what crib I was at, what ramp I was at. I know exactly where I was. And a guy come in and he was all like, rah, rah, rah. And he walked off and I was like, he's 20%. Like, he's one of those 20% of people that don't like me. Off you go, fuck off. 20%.
That's the spirit.
And that helped me. And then the next person that come in, or he was in the crib hut or whatever, I'm trying to remember what the story was, but he was having a bad day. He was feeling crook. And I had a bit of a chat to him, and I said, mate, if you could, ring up the bloody supervisor, you know. You can't just be like that. You got to look after yourself. And he, whatever the whole thing was, I remember he wasn't well. And he said to me, thanks so much for that. I really needed that. It's nice to know that some people out here care. And I'm walking back to my truck on the go line after crib, because, you know, you had to only have your 30 minutes or you're in the shit. One guy was a 20%er, and that other guy, I'm like, I helped him today. Oh, you're all right. You're a good person. Fuck that other asshole. You know? And I laughed and I got in my truck and I cranked up the tunes and I just finished off the day.
Bit of bloody sass. Bit of sass from Mumsy. You had a bit of sass.
Yeah, well, within myself, no one saw that. That was me.
Oh, no, you should have said that. You should have said it word for word. Fucking bloody tell them who runs the show around there, Mumsy.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. And they were all young and cowboys and cowgirls and all arguing and rooting each other and, like, sucking up to the supervisors and purple circles and just, you know, it was just one of the worst places I ever worked.
Oh, that's when bloody mine sites can go to shit, is when they all start rooting each other, because then they break up and root someone else, and that's when things get emotional. They're like, I need to be on a different crew. She's rooting him and he's rooting her, and oh, bloody hell, it's like a frigging home and away, isn't it?
It is. And for anyone who doesn't know that, you now know.
Oh, mate, yeah, no, mate, that's underground metal or coal or whatever. Doesn't matter what you're mining, everyone still wants to bloody root each other. Yeah,
and even if you're not and you don't, people start a rumour and think that you are, you know. You know, even if you're not.
Well, that's all. I got that bored underground sometimes, bloody just drilling holes and putting bolts in each day. I'd end up starting all my own rumours, and if someone come to me, I'd get a rumour and then try to get that going around the site just to, you know, it's just entertainment actually. So I'm probably the cause of half of them. So,
bit like you're doing on Money of Mine.
Word on the decline, we call it, the rumours. I'll make half of them up too. I do miss I'll tell you what, as much as they're all bloody fighting and rooting each other, I bloody miss the characters. Oh, some of the people I met along the journey, you just never meet them anywhere else but mining, and they're just friggin' legends. Like, yeah, I do miss the banter and the characters. Oh, they're just bloody souls of the earth people. Just loved them. Yeah, just loved them.
Hey, have you heard the news? Psst. Mad Mumsy has a new membership just for miners, whether you are still trying to get your start or whether you're ready to hang up your hard hat. It's a place where no matter what is happening in your mining journey, I got you and we've got each other. It's a community outside of social media on Mad Mumsy's hub, inside the portal, because everyone needs a portal, right? Been working away on this and I'm excited to be able to support you in new ways at a very affordable price, and you also get access to all of my paid courses that are already created. Yes, that's right. You heard it here for the first time. Mad Mumsy's Miners membership, Triple M Plats, will give you access to all of my resources inside the portal, including start date, because I really know what it's like. You spend so much time, how do I get a job in the mines? What do I do? You know, where do I go? How do I sign up? Tweak the resume? All of that is in there. It will be. We're creating it as we go right now. And it's all the next bits that you don't even know about. And for those of you who have had an interview and just got started perhaps, you know this is when the shit really starts to happen, and that is when you need the support the most. It'll be a supportive community inside the very special membership portal where only us special people will be. get in, sign up early, and stay with me right through until you hang up your hard hat, because that's what it's all about. I have a network of people who are going to come and help us as well. So it's not just me. It'll be lives, it'll be resources, it'll be checklists and links and so much more than just a course, which is great. And remember, you also get access to all the paid courses that I've already created, because I've already done them. This is my new thing and I want you in there, and it is my supportive portal. Oh, it's the word of the week. It's the word of the year. Everyone's got a portal. So head over to madmumsy.com/membership, enter your name and your email, hit submit, and then we'll go from there. Can't wait to see you in there, and believe me, you can afford it. It's a great price. I just want to help as many people as I can. I want to share my knowledge with more people, yes, through the podcast, but this way I can do it interactively and we can engage and we can do Q&As, and you can hit me up, and I don't know everything, but what I don't know I can find out. I can get someone on who can help us. So, do it. I'll see you in there. Okay. Love you. See you. Bye. Back to the episode. And please share the podcast with your mates while you're at it.
I was going to ask you that earlier when you said I don't bloody miss it and blah blah, and I chose not to interrupt, but I feel like for me anyway, I missed like you say, I missed the good bits, not the shit bits, and I missed the people and the crew and just that banter, and even the banter against the other fucking crew, and all that sort of shit that you just don't have. And that's why I love where I'm working now, because it's very, very small. So it's a crew of, not many, like under 5, we'll say. And but a lot of blokes come in and a lot of mining people come in. And some of my old crew people have come in, and I'm at work and I'm like, we're hugging. And last week a couple of weeks ago, I went up to Ellie Beach. It was one of my old crew members' 50th and his wife's 50th. And I thought maybe some of my other old crew would be there, but I was the only one, but that didn't matter. It was good to see them. And his current crew were there. And he's like, oh, my God, Leanne, Mad Mumsy, she was, all these stories were coming out. And I hadn't seen him we worked it out 8 years. But he's still family. He's in my heart. Yeah. When you work with people in your crew, and I found that that's what I missed a lot. And I also missed the sky. You wouldn't miss that because you are.
No.
Yeah, but I try to make a point of going out and looking at the sky. When I get home from work, I look up and I walk around and have a beer, and I say, this is why I left mining.
This is living back.
Home every night,
Yeah. Oh, very good. No, it's a great industry. It's been frigging good to me. And yeah, I just don't miss getting up at 3:45 and bloody going to work and being away, but miss everything else. But it's a frigging legendary industry. That's why all these bloody dickheads in the newspaper that try and slander it and it's usually because one idiot's bloody done something and the whole industry gets tainted with it. And that's what pisses me off, because there's a bloody 99% of people doing the right thing. It's always one dickhead that ruins it.
Yep, exactly. I agree. And the media latch onto things, and social media as well. And,
the world we live in.
Oh, isn't it? About anything, no matter what it is. But that's one of the things I say to my newbies and wannabes is be careful when you go on to, especially, say, a Facebook group about mining, and just have a look at the comments. Don't put a post on how am I going to get into mining, because you'll get slammed, you'll get hammered. Oh, fuck off, just go back to Macca's or whatever. Oh yeah, well, if you're a woman, if you're Indigenous, If you're this, if you're that, you're in. Don't matter, And then all the comments and I say though, and the reason they say that is because mining companies have targets like 30% women by 2030 and stuff like that. And I can understand all of that. But in social media groups, you can just get absolutely slammed. So just go in and look. Don't necessarily say too much is my advice, because it's a good insight into the people that you might be working with.
Oh, that bloody, all those targets and everything drive me nuts, because, I don't know, the industry's changed so much. Like my generation, which are like we're the new generation. Bloody, compared to the older one, like I don't care if you got a bloody dick or a vagina, couldn't care. Are you a good worker or not? And some of the best people I worked underground with, and the hardest workers, and some of the best nippers and offsiders I had were women. I didn't care if they were a bloody woman or not. They just happened to be very bloody good. And once I found out they were good, it's like, right, you're with me. That's it. And bloody did everything to make sure they got promoted. And whether they were a female or a male, I just did not care. I did not differentiate a miner based on their gender. And that's what all those numbers and shit drive me nuts, because I'm not like that, and most of us aren't like that now. But they're attached to the way mining used to be, and they try and it's artificial. And most of the really good female workers get the shits with it all, because they're being differentiated based on their gender, and then it's all bloody bullshit. It's just, why can't a woman should not be treated different in a good or a bad way just because they're a woman. Like, they shouldn't be promoted because they're a woman. Because they're a woman. Woman is hard to say sometimes, because it's a women. Yeah, that confused me. You know what I mean? And there's always a couple of bad eggs that are bloody misogynists, or just were a bit old school. But fuck, as soon as I found out, I did my best to make them feel as uncomfortable as possible, and not do anything to go against them, because that just drives me nuts, because it gives all of us a bad name that don't think anything about gender at all. Whereas if everyone was like this, would be fine. Unfortunately, there's just always there's either some of the older generation that's still a bit that way, or some rotten eggs in the bunch. But I think it's fuck. Like, you look back, I've only been in the mine, I was only in it for 13 years, so I'd imagine from 20 years ago, it is a lot different today than what it was, all the better.
Yeah. And even from when I started, I did 13 years as well. And then even now, what I hear from other people now that I'm out, it's so much better. And it's had to be, because they've changed laws and you can't do things. But what I really like is when there's blokes like you who will call them out. You know, last year with the international, what do they call it? The International Women's Day. It was a big thing, was about noticing the men who are pointing it out to other men, generally are the ones, not, no, mate, you shouldn't, don't matter, shut up, in your corner, no need to speak to her like that, or this isn't the thing, or whatever. Because, and it's the same domestic violence and all that, it has to be called out. And we're all just miners, we're all doing the same thing. We are away from home, and we all need to look after each other to make sure we get home safe. Doesn't matter what gender you are, doesn't matter what colour you are, doesn't matter nothing. Yeah. We're just a crew, mate. All look after each other. And we need people to speak up when someone isn't doing that.
But it has to go both ways as well. Like, my thing is, like if I found a good worker, whether they're a male or female, it's like, right, you're with me. But if they were shit, because, WA underground is like there's no unions over here. It's not like where when you're working contracting, like you're there to make money and make the company money. Like it's bloody fast paced and it's intense. And if you drag the chain, you fuck the whole mine because it's all a big cycle. So if someone comes to me and they don't want to work, whether they're a male or a female, they get the same treatment. It's like, nah, I don't want this person.
Yes.
Fuck them off. I want someone else that wants to work. And so, yeah, and especially if people are getting promoted based on gender,
No, I'm
if
with
they're
you.
not going to work, well, I don't give a fuck. Like, they get the same treatment as everyone else. Anyway, it's all very political these days, and that's one reason I'm probably glad I don't have to deal with it anymore.
We don't have to.
I use it because
Right.
my views were a bit polarising to the feminist community, but I feel that I was just honest and had morals, and I don't think they're wrong. I think I'm a realist. I spoke to one of the owners he was the managing director of one of the contractors over here. He's not anymore. He's old school, but he had the exact same view as me. He says, did not even look at what my percentage of women were ever. He said, if I just employed people if they were good or bad. It was as simple as that. He said the percentage of women just went up and down, depending on how many women I had that were hard workers. It was as easy as that. And I'm sure I think mining's a lot more enticing for women to come into now because there's a better culture and there's a better age and respect, and there hopefully isn't that differentiation. So that's why the percentage of women goes up. It shouldn't go up because people are making women work to fit their quotas. They should be it should be going up because women want to work in the industry and they're good workers and they've got an opportunity to make more money than they could in the city. It's as simple as that. So
I agree.
Yeah. Anyway, back in my day, last year.
Back in my day, when I started mining, I was one of 2 women on a crew of 62. What's that percentage?
God, all the old fellas listening to this, they'd be like, have a listen to this young prick thinking he's been there and done it.
We've been there and done it for our big 13 years.
Anyway, I did it. I did enough.
Yeah.
I'm happy with enough.
It's enough to know enough. You can't, and you can't take mining out of you. You know, like me, Mad Mumsy might be out of mining, literally, but still very connected to it in a lot of other different ways. But you can't take mining out of me. You can't take that experience that I had and those connections that I made and the sky that I got to see and the people that I got to meet and hang out with and have beers with, and now I just do it on a podcast, right, Matt?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, I think that might be a good place to finish up.
Oh, mate, that was a bloody brilliant chat. Thank you very much for having me on again. Love
brilliant. 40 minutes, hour and 45 so far we are.
There you go.
Oh, my God.
Hopefully everyone's still awake.
That's all right. They can listen in chunks. But I believe a podcast needs to be as long as it needs to be. Not like, our 45 minutes is up now, because we wouldn't have got...
No, I didn't have anything scheduled, so you're all good.
Oh, good. Bloody ripper.
Thanks so much for that, mate.
Thank you. I do have one last question, which is the hootaroo.
Oh, funny story there.
I get the emails, hootaroo in mining. Is that what it's called, hootaroo in mining? Yeah,
so what happened was, because JD, there's me, Trav and JD that do money of mine. So it's actually, his name's Jonas, but his name's Jonas Dorling. So I just started calling him JD from the start, and it just stuck on. He grew up in the bloody, call it the Golden Triangle, the rich part of Perth. So he probably hasn't been exposed to New South Wales bogans like me. But when we first started Money of Mine, at the end of it, I was saying, right, everyone, hooroo, like, typical Aussie saying, hooroo. And then he started at the end of it, he's like, right, everyone, hootaroo. And I let it go for a few episodes and he kept doing it. And I got to the end and I said, JD, what the fuck are you saying? What is hootaroo? He's like, that's what you've been saying, isn't it? I said, no, I've been saying hooroo. Haven't you heard of hooroo before? He's like, come from bloody, his parents are German. And he's grown up in the rich part of Perth. So he's probably never heard of hooroo in his life. So, and we started joking about it every now and then. Then people started like sending us emails or messaging on LinkedIn or whatever, and they'd write at the end of it, right, hootaroo. And it just caught on. And then now the newsletter's the Hootaroo Daily, and we made these Hootaroo hats. And we actually we made 100 hats, and they were exclusive, and we got imprinted on the side GC1 through to GC100. And GC was another term that I brought into the thing. That was a mining term, and I started calling everyone GCs, and everyone's like, what's GC mean? I said, well, G is good and C is the word I'm not allowed to say.
C is C.
That's the highest accolade you can receive in Australia. If you're a GC, that's pretty much like being, that's an Order of Australia. So we actually, and we sold the hats, like, so GC 1 to 10 were like, fuck, I think they were like $100 odd or something.
Oh,
and then the ones
I was going to say, send me a hat, but it's all good. I get it.
And then at our auction, we auctioned off GC 001 and GC 007. And one bloke paid $1,100 for GC 1.
Wow. Now that is marketing gold right there. Drop the freaking mic.
He's a lawyer, and he sent the photo. He's got the hat on his where he puts his lawyer wig thing. He's got the hat sitting on top of that in his office. So it's like he's a bit of a crazy fan. God love him. Shout out David Shaw.
So he goes back in after a hard slog in court.
Hard slog, chucks the hootaroo hat back on the wig. Yeah,
and goes, it's all right because I'm a good. Oh my God.
And so now we're about to release a newsletter, and each subscriber is going to get their own GC number. So so that's like something that's special to them. And then if someone goes off the list, we'll be able to like create a competition to claim the GC number that's become available or something. Just to have a bit of fun.
Like a personalised rego plate.
Yeah, exactly. So GC1, he'll be GC1 forever.
Yeah, he'll take that to his grave.
And I did a private auction for GC69. And someone paid $169 for it.
69! Oh my God, that's gold. Oh, and because you
real mature. That's what happens when you don't have bosses. You do.
Yeah, right. You can do
like this because no one tells us we can't.
Yeah, exactly. Now you had a Patreon page going with
it's still up.
Like a whole different level of your Life of Mine podcast that was not allowed for, you had to pay to listen to that. That's not going anymore?
No, I've still got I did a heap of jumbo training videos, and they're still on the Life of Mine website, and people can bloody subscribe and to that. And so I pretty much did a brain dump of everything I learned on the jumbo in 6 years and did videos on how to do shit, and I'm like, fuck, I wish this was around when I was learning it. So that'll just stay there forever, and anyone that wants to bloody use them, they could use them. So that's like my little mining legacy. There's probably not many jumbo operators that listen to your show, but
no, but they wouldn't want it if they're already a jumbo operator.
Maybe maybe this could be their ticket onto it.
Right? That's
exactly.
And you'd be surprised, I have a lot of Western Australian people.
Oh, do you? Look at you.
Yes.
Well, you've taken over you're like the mining podcast monopoly now because Life of Mine's dead in the water, and then I don't think bloody anyone else really does one. So, mate, you are the mining story queen.
No, that's funny. Well, thank you. That's inspiration to keep going. I'm still so very random, like whenever.
Sporadic. She'll be right.
It's all right. That's it. I think people go, oh, my God, she's done another one.
Yeah, it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I got my act together, and then I might do 2 or 3, and then it's like, but no, I'm trying to be a bit more organised.
Very good, mate. No, it's been a bloody absolute honour. Glad to get you out of the closet again.
Yeah, thank you. And good to talk mining with you again and to hear all about your Mining Select and also your Money of Mine podcast and YouTube. Find that. Oh, my God. Now, do you want a copy of it to listen in case you have said something you shouldn't?
No, thank you. Thank you so much again, mate. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my God. It's been good.
Love talking to you.
I love talking to you. I miss you. And I was a bit, I don't know, it's a bit weird because, like I say, I haven't, whenever I do it, I'm like, do it more often because I love doing this.
Yeah.
What have you got to worry about, woman? Just fucking do it. And then today at work, I was like, oh, podcast tonight. Oh, I have to leave work early. Oh, we've got it. But we ended up having a couple of beers at work, and a guy rocked up who we were waiting to see about a thing. And I was like, oh, and I got home and had a quick shower. I was thinking I'd come in here and set this up. I'm like, have a shower first. And then get yourself sorted. And then by the time I got out of the shower, it's like, it's all right, I'm just talking to Matt, my mate Matt.
Been bloody good, mate. So, I look forward to, you won't want me on again for a while. Everyone will get sick of me. But I'll look forward to listening to your future ones, Copper. Keep them coming. This is my link back to the mining industry you are now.
Oh, me.
Pressure's on,
bloody
mate.
sunshine miner, surface miner. That's funny.
See you, Mumsy.
See ya. Bye.